give Miles a chance, because we do have traditional media representatives, to talk about pitching to blogs. I've never done it myself, and I know nothing about it. But is it different? Do they look for different things? I mean, you've placed companies on TechCrunch and all kinds of awesome places.
Yeah, well...
And be specific, please.
Oh, specific. You're killing me. Well, bloggers think they're journalists. A lot of them, you know, I'm going to get beat up outside, actually. No, there's a lot of good things about blogs, and again, I don't think there are any real tricks other than providing something that's relevant to them. I think back to press releases sucking, I think bloggers hate press releases, so steer clear of that. Another thing, actually, just like Andrew, bloggers take bribes. Just kidding.
About me or the bloggers?
Do you mean inviting them to
Well,
something?
Yeah, they like free shit, so if you can give them something, they're going to remember you the next time around. I think that's another thing. I think, you know, here's a newsflash that blogs are dead, actually, and welcome to the statosphere. I don't know if you're catching on to this latest trend in personal publishing, but there's a movement afoot where traction and the quote-unquote authority of blogs are on the decline for people spending more time on Twitter and, you know, on their Facebook statuses and sharing, you know, links that way in a micro format, which is a whole new paradigm. You know, when your attention span is only 140 characters. But there is a huge trend in that direction. So if you're pitching blogs, you know, try to actually think of how to pitch something in 2 sentences or less to permeate out there, because those status updates or whatnot have more propensity to grow legs and kind of run off into the ether and be shared by friends versus huge long blog posts that pretty much only the blogger who wrote it reads.
This brings up a total tangent. We recently had a meeting at the teleconference at the Times where they suggested that maybe we should start to write shorter stories, that maybe our lengths were putting off readers, and that maybe we should write shorter stories. And I thought for a second, I said, you know, my ideal story would be 0 words. Just be thought transmission. I think that goes to Twitter, right? I mean,
It's moving toward the 0, yeah.
Just think.
That's Web 3.0. I just want to offer a cautionary word on that, because if you take a look at the history of direct response copywriting, all the people who write junk mail and the people who now are sending it through the internet, spamming with email and all that, for decades and decades now, it has been demonstrated over and over and over again that long copy outsells short copy every time. Now, it has to be well written, but if you have quality long copy versus quality short copy, the long copy always wins. The reason is very simple. If you have an interest in something, you don't want less information, you want more information if you're interested. And if you're not interested in something, I don't care if you only write 140 characters, I'm not going to get interested because you're only writing 140 characters. So I think the real key here is that bloggers need to really strike chords with people and actually write about things that people are interested in and will take some time with. Now, I'm not an advocate for these, you know, these sprawling entries on blogs, but what I am saying is if you've got a good topic, take some space with it. 140 characters doesn't do squat. I mean, I'm on Twitter, and I just don't think that that's our future. I think that you're always going to have people like nibbling away like mice at cheese on something like that, but that's not where the future is. Life is there's too much texture to all the things that we do to restrict it to that degree. The fact of the matter is that we have now the barriers to entry for publishing are down to the floor. I mean, for $22 a month, you're in the publishing business. Like my esteemed colleague Mr. Ross says, you know, that it's the truth. Everybody is in the publishing business. Well, if you throw the gates open with any profession and say, okay, now everybody can be a tennis player, everybody can be, you know, whatever you want to be, well, 99% of them, they're going to be terrible. And 99% of the blogs is just crap. And 99% of the entries on Facebook and Twitter is junk. So what I think a much better model is what Arianna Huffington has done. I mean, whatever you think of Arianna Huffington, what she did is she put together a blog and said, I'm going to have intelligent people saying intelligent things about relevant subjects, and if you make a mistake, as soon as it's brought to your attention, if that's not fixed, I think it's 12 or 24 hours, you are off the site, your access code is pulled, and you will never be writing for the Huffington Post again. That, I think, is much more the model. Or if you're an independent out there doing your own thing, you just have to be good, and you have to write interesting stuff that is relevant to people, that is extremely interesting, that's titillating, that's important, that has something that is going to attract an audience and hold them and actually get them. And you know when you've really accomplished that is when you get interactivity, when people are actually commenting on things. Because most of those blog postings, one of you said it, I think it was you, Jesse, that the only person reading the blog post is the blogger. And, oh, it was Miles who said that. Yeah, the only one is the blogger. So that's really the difference. And if you look at the traffic that the Huffington Post gets and how often it's quoted and all that, there you have an example of something that's serious, that's actually doing something meaningful on the internet.